Hey everybody, welcome back to another part of our PSD to HTML tutorial. This time around we're going to be cutting out assets from our PSD for using them for use inside of our web application. So looking at this PSD real fast, we only have a couple elements where we will actually cut out as JPEGs. Most of these are going to be PNGs with alpha transparency. Or I think it's alpha transparency, regardless, transparency. And I'll show you the various tools for cutting them out and the best way to save them to for use. So the tool you're going to want to use is your slice tool, which is just over on the left. You can use your crop tool. What the crop tool does is that it kills your whole PSD. If it would actually crop, it may have crashed Photoshop. Oh, there it goes. So you can't go back in and do anything, so I'm going to press F12 and revert everything. Now, the slice tool is really interesting because it's really interesting and useful because, say for instance, I want to, so that's just about perfect. You select the area you wish to slice, and then you can come over here and let's say we want to go ahead and cut out this right here, this guy right here. Now what you can do is you double click on it, and over here it's going to give you a name or your various properties for that, so you can give it a quick little name. And so down here I'm going to rename my recycle thing just real fast. And now when you save it, we're going to use save for web. If you do typical save, you won't get your slices, I don't think, but it won't properly render the elements to look good on the web. So that is Control-Alt-Shift-S. Doing it a lot is going to make your hand look really weird, especially if you are a Windows user on a MacBook Pro, because the Windows and the Alt key are all janky. So anyway, while we're on this screen, we can use the select slice tool to select multiple slices by using holding shift and selecting our various slices. And they will all consistently save to whatever we have set over here. For our use, we're going to want to do PNG 24 for anything with transparency. If you're going to save a JPEG, you're going to want to set your quality level. Now, based on what type of image you're saving, if there's a lot of colors or if it's very high res, you're going to want to set your level to somewhere between 80 to 100%. Down here is going to give you on the bottom left hand corner of the preview screen, it's going to give you an idea about how big the file size is going to be. And so if we look right now, it's these are going to be about 26 kilobytes at maximum quality. If we do low quality, it shows 3.9 kilobytes. And so you want to find a really good balance. You don't want a 1 meg image, JPEG image on your page. You want to have real low assets, anything below 100K when you can. With JPEGs, you're gonna this screen is where you're gonna optimize them. With PNGs, there's third-party tools we can use to compress them and for better resource use. Let's see. Let me hop into my actual development folder that I'm working on with this. Tech projects. That's not it. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. That's your cutout. So this is our folder. Now, one of the things you're gonna want to pay attention on the save screen is in your settings. I personally recommend selecting Other. It says Put Images in Folder Images. This is going to create a folder for you and dump all the images inside of there. this may not be the desired result. You'll end up with images folder within an images folder within an images folder. So I prefer to uncheck this. That way they actually save in the actual directory I'm selecting. The other one to pay attention to is your slices drop-down list. If we select all slices, it's going to save every slice on the page. Now when you slice out an image or a section, it's going to create slices around it, and it's going to save all those. With all user slices, it's going to select all the actual slices we did, not the surrounding ones. And then all selected slices are the ones that we actually saved in this screen. So if I click save, it's going to save our header and then our very ghetto recycles one. So if we go into our project file, we're going to see those two ridiculous images saved for us. Well, thank you, Windows 8 Image Viewer. Close that down. So I'm going to delete these. I'm going to create an images folder. Now every platform is going to have a different naming convention. ASP.NET MVC is going to have content and then images. I know Ruby on Rails has its own convention. You use whatever you're comfortable with. So select my slice tool. Now for this one, to get our transparency, to actually select the graphic, I am going to use your selection tool, move tool, and have it auto select layer. Click on it, and then down on the right side we'll see that it's selected. We have the right layer. Now one way to do this is if you hold Alt and then click the eye on your layer, it's going to hide all layers behind it. And so from here we could save the PNG for that. I guess I should find out what I named it in my other project so it looks cleaner. We could save it like this. One thing I like to do that you can also do to save an image is convert it to select your layers and convert to a smart object, and then go in and edit contents. And what it's going to do is it's going to crop out everything around it and make it the exact size of the proper images. So from here you can do the exact same thing. You don't have to worry about all the settings and slice related stuff. And from this spot you can actually name it what you like. In my other one I named it logo, so I'm just going to call it logo also. And I'm going to cut out this image real fast. This one is a little bit more challenging. So we have a monitor, then we have a mobile phone, and then another mobile phone somewhere. Yeah. So we have 3 layers right here. I'm going to convert to smart object. That way they're all joined together, and we're going to go in and edit contents. Now you see we have this big section down here that is full of space. We're going to go up to image and select trim. Now what this does is it's going to trim all, you can select to trim all transparent pixels around it, and this will allow you to we have a drop shadow on this iPhone down here, and one problem you have if you hand select the region, you may end up with a hard line. So let's say just by accident you cut off right there, you're going to have a hard line inside your image that's not going to look very good. So going this approach is going to guarantee you get all the pixels related to that image. So we're going to save, Control Shift Alt S, save it as PNG, and save it as slide. Let's see here, what other? And then over here we're going to do the typical we're going to select all 4 of these and save them. And so when you create a, sorry about all the chimes, when you create a slice, it's going to give you guides for your other slices. So, and if you double click on a slice, you're going to get its properties. So we see it's 227 by 148. We can verify that this one is the same size also. So also what you can do is slice out a small section of it and name it 227 148, hit enter, and it's going to automatically resize your slice, and then you can use your arrow keys to position it correctly. Seven 148, or you could just use your mouse and drag it over to the right position. Now that we have that done, we're going to Control Alt Shift S, go down and select, use hold Shift and click each one of these elements, and we're going to save them as JPEGs. One thing we forgot to do is name them, so we'll do port 2, port 1, port 3, port 4. Okay, reselect them all with holding shift. I'm going to set the quality level of them down to about 75, since it's not absolutely critical that these are the highest quality. We may even get along with 70 or 60 quality images. So I'm going to select all selected slices, make sure that my image folder is set correctly, and click save. I'm going to go back over to my images folder, and there we have them. So they're about 10K each. This one's 7K, 7.7K. So that's great file size. It's going to save our server some bandwidth. And so we would continue to go through each one of these, saving either by doing smart objects or slicing and hiding the background, all the other layers, and saving them individually. Thankfully, I've already cut this out before, and so I'm going to be able to just select all of them and paste them over. So we have our icons for the what was it? Their services. I have an image for the rotator. Didn't feel like doing it with CSS, so I just cut it out. I have a background for each one of these. Advertisers has this gradient background to it, semi-transparent gradient, and so that way we have a background image that's reused across all of them, and a front image to overlay on top of it. This allows us to easily swap out with different logos without having to rehunt down that background image. Then I have a bunch of the smaller icons for the social ones. Alrighty, and so the other thing that we can do with all the PNGs is optimize them. Now you can download something like PNG Gauntlet, or use advanced Photoshop or Fireworks to compress PNG. I like to use this website called tinypng.org. Our slide PNG for our top rotator, it's 115K. Reposition that. So we're going to see how much it's going to shrink. Now typically these PNG optimizers, they do their best when there's a lot of transparency on it. I'm not sure what happens behind the scenes, but there's compression behind the scenes. Sometimes when you reopen it inside of Photoshop or whatever, you get some inconsistencies, and so it's always good to keep an original version of your image before you compress it. That way, if something goes wrong with your compressed version, you have a new version. So we're going to drag and drop and upload, and it looks like the newer version is only 46K, which is awesome. We're going to save it, and of course Firefox is set to the wrong directory. Alright, so looking at it, everything still looks good at its normal size. We still have our transparency, good reflection on it. So we would do this for each one of our assets, and this one we were able to save 60%. Not all optimizers are built the same, so some instances would only save you 10. This one I've seen has had the most effect. That's worked out the best. So alright, so there are plenty of other ways how to cut out your assets. This is probably the easiest and quickest, most straightforward way I've found out. I'm by no means a Photoshop expert, so feel free to share your methods in the comments below. Anyway, I appreciate the view. The next time around, we're going to be cutting out the header and footer and some of the content in CSS, getting our base styles and everything set up. So appreciate the view. Please like, comment below. Any feedback is great. So, and we will see you on the next one.